Welcome to a gloomy day here in Oxford, Ohio. It's the first of two games here to honor the old left-hander, the Joe Nuxhall Classic. Wright State versus the University of Cincinnati, moments away from first pitch. And let's go ahead and take you through the visiting, or I guess the away team in this one, the Cincinnati Bearcats starting lineups.
Landon Vinerick is leading off. Carrington Cross is batting second today, playing left field. Ryan Nicholson at first base, batting third. Cole Harding, J.P. Sponseller, Cameron Guidry, Corey Klingenbeck, Lawton Brooks, and Sean Springer. Your starting nine for the Bearcats today, Reed.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Bearcats 12-17 coming into this one. On the bump for the Wright State Raiders, who come in at 15-12, Josh Leisure. He comes in with an ERA of 5.54. He's got 13 innings pitched, a win-loss of 2-0. He has struck out 21 batters and has walked 9. This isn't his first time starting on the rubber here at McKee Field at Hayden Park, as he got the start against Miami just a few weeks ago, a game that the Raiders beat the Red Hawks in. And we are getting ready. Landon Vinerick, the starting center fielder, true freshman for the Cincinnati Bearcats. Went to school just up the road in Hamilton, Baden High School. Comes in batting .298. And the first pitch is in there for a called strike. Time of first pitch, 1:58. Leisure comes set. Works exclusively out of the stretch. They won't ask him to go long, as he just went 2 innings against Miami in a start a couple weeks ago, as Vinerick sends one down the left field line and foul. Vinerick, 2 home runs on the season, 5 extra base hits, slugging .417. He comes set. Breaking ball, misses, comes around the strike zone, 1-2.
Yeah, Reed, you mentioned that start he had against Miami back on March 22nd. That was his longest outing of the season. It's the only time he's gone longer than 2 innings this year.
Takes a deep breath, kicks, and deals. And Vinerick sends one out to right field. Underneath it is going to be the starting right fielder, Fisher, for the first out.
Had decent contact there, lunging out at a ball and putting it into play. 343 down the lines, or down the right field line, rather. 332 down the left field line. 400 just straight away.
It's a big league ballpark. 340 down the line, and you mentioned 400. Very similar to what you've seen somewhere in the National League, as we'll see Carrington Cross step up to the plate. Cross shows bunt, fouls it over towards the first base dugout. Started in 50 games last year. A native of Brownsburg, Indiana. Hometown of a couple famous athletes. Pat McAfee, Tucker Barnhart. As Leisure delivers a strike to run the count to 0-2. Called strike 3 for the second out, and Leisure dealing here in the top half of the first.
Yeah, again, so good to work ahead. It takes so much pressure off when you work ahead of these hitters, and you're able to put the pressure, put the front foot out there on these hitters, and that's exactly what he's done the first 2 at-bats of this game. I mean, you're talking about somebody now who has put together a few wins here lately up on his leisure, as far as Wright State winning these games that he's pitched in as a team.
And in steps the left-handed hitter, native of Mason, Ohio, Cole Harding. He's been a starter since his freshman year for the Bearcats. You see the open stance. Apologize. It's actually Ryan Nicholson at the plate. Nicholson, actually a native of Louisville. Cole Harding's on deck, and I'm excited to tell you about him, as he had a big hit against Wichita State over the weekend. 1-2, Leisure. Looking to go 1-2-3 in the top half of the first. And he gets a strikeout there on the swinging Nicholson, and a quick work in the top half of the first inning. We head to the bottom of the first here on Love and Honor Live. And welcome back to McKee Field at Hayden Park. Reed Mouse on the call with Paul Fritschner. And the Wright State Raiders are coming up to the plate here in the bottom half of the first inning. Let's take you through the Raiders starting lineup. Andrew Patrick will be the leadoff man. He's out in center field. Patrick Foltz will be batting second. He's at third base. Sammy Sass, the designated hitter, will be batting in the 3-hole. Jay Lukert, the preseason All-American, will be at first base. Boston Smith will be behind the dish. He's in the 5-hole. Luke Arnold will be the shortstop. Ben Vore out in left field. Ben Stoner, the second baseman, and Avery Fisher will be anchoring the lineup. He's out in right field. Paul, what can you tell me about Tommy Boba?
Yeah, Boba is a freshman. This is just going to be his 7th appearance of his college career. He's gone 5 innings at least twice, but he hasn't had a whole lot of success in those 2 elongated outings. Reed, he's gone 5 innings, as I mentioned, twice, 5 2/3 against Winthrop. Then he threw 5 against Xavier. That was in a Cincinnati win. But he's given up at least 6 hits in each of his last 3 outings. So you want to limit that today as best he can. That game against Xavier was a drubbing, 19-6 for the Bearcats.
And the 1-1 is sent out to right center field. Underneath it will be Harding for the first out. Nice piece there by Andrew Patrick, the leadoff man, but Harding underneath it.
Again, trying to go the other way on a pitch low and outside, going the other way with it. Ball hanging up a bit. Always a little tough on a day like today. The cloud cover overhead, trying to track the ball in the outfield.
Yeah, blends in
Yeah.
with that gray sky. As first pitch swinging, Patrick Foltz steps in. You mentioned Tommy Boba, as we're going to take a quick check on the starting catcher. Klingenbeck was on the receiving end of a foul tip. Yeah, Tommy Boba, on his biography on UC's website, he mentioned that he had a relative that played tight end for the University of Illinois back in the 40s, another relative that played at Purdue and played in the NFL, and then a grandfather that played for the Phillies in the mid-50s. So comes from generations of athletes and doing it here for the Bearcats as a 1-1 count to Foltz. Foltz pops one over the home plate bullpen.
And the one thing about both of these pitchers, Reed, is that they don't walk a lot of batters. Neither one of them in double digits in walks. Both of them above 15 in strikeouts. Boba with 15 strikeouts and Leisure with 21 coming into the game. And pepper the zone.
1-2, sent out to the second baseman who goes on one knee. It's Lawden Brooks, flips it over to Ryan Nicholson for the second out. Let's take you through the Bearcats' defensive alignment today.
It's Cross in left field. Vitterick is in center field today. Cole Harding is out there in right. At third, it's Sean Springer. Cameron Guidry is at shortstop today. Lawden Brooks at second. You just called his name. Ryan Nicholson at first, and Klingenbeck behind the plate.
So in steps Sammy Sass. As he'll take the first pitch breaking ball from Boba.
Jeff Spisak, the home plate umpire today. John Molesky down the third baseline, and Scott Wyckoff is at first.
Chopped out to Ryan Nicholson. He'll field it down the first base line, but foul, so says the first base umpire, Wyckoff.
It's a 1-1 count here. 2 down. Here, the Cincinnati coaching staff asking home plate umpire Jeff Spisak a little clarification there on that ball. Thought that was fair, I think, down the first base line. Looked real close.
Yeah, Wyckoff's right there. You can't miss that one. 1-1 from Boba is fouled over the first base dugout. Ryan Nicholson giving chase. Looked like he ran out of room, but extends himself out of play and will have the grab for the third and final out. So we're through one here. 0-0 our score in Oxford on Love and Honor Live. Cole Harding, JP Sponseller, and Cameron Guidry due up for the Bearcats here in the top half of the second inning. And I jumped the gun last inning talking about Cole Harding, but he had a huge hit against another WSU, Wichita State University, this weekend. A walk-off 2 RBI single as he looks to keep the bats going. Flares one out to right center field, and what a play by Patrick. Full extension, sliding on the turf here at McKee Field and robbing Cole Harding of a base knock.
Well, that's back-to-back defensive plays, one to end the bottom of the first inning, and now that one in center field. Patrick got a great read on it off the bat, and we were just talking last inning, Reed, about how hard it is sometimes to track these balls through the clouds. That ball into right center, saw it right away, dead sprint, full extension. What a catch.
First pitch to Sponseller, fouled back, and oftentimes when you play on turf, you talk about the infield and how they're getting a true hop, but it helps the outfielders as well because it's just so much easier to traverse turf than it is on a rainy day like we had today. If that was true grass out there, got a great jump and full extension sliding to make that catch. 1-1 here from Leisure to Sponseller. Off the end of the bat and flaring but running out of room as Arnold jumps up to make that second out. And what about the plays we're seeing in the defensively to begin this ball game?
Yeah, really, and that's an underrated play out there at short because you see that ball come off the bat on a line drive right to you, and you think that it might be hit harder, so you start to back up, and then in a ball like that, when it comes in on the hands, a lot of spin on that ball coming right out to you.
It's really important to get the first jump on those plays. You make one misstep, and that's a base knock, and we'll see Guidry step into the batter's box. The transfer from Georgia, playing shortstop for the Bearcats this season. 1-0 the count here from Leisure as he swings and comes up empty, 1-1. He's coming off his best game of the season against Wichita State. 2 hits, including 1 home run. The 1-1 misses downstairs and the turf, 2-1. Infield playing straight up against Guidry. Riding inside.
Cincinnati trying to turn their tide this season. 12-17 on the year. Wright State, though, above 500, 15-12.
Chopped. Leisure moving to his left, coming off the mound, and he'll flip it over to Luker for the third and final out. We head to the bottom half of the second here in Oxford. It's 0-0. Tommy Boba out for another inning, looking to repeat his perfect first. He's got 4, 5, 6 due up for the Raiders. Jay Lukert, Boston Smith, Luke Arnold. And Jay Lukert is Mr. Do-It-All for the Raiders. All-Horizon League, and also their starting closer as Lawton Brooks, who has shifted in the outfield, comes up, makes the throw on the run for the first out. 4-3 put out. Lawton Brooks is a name familiar to most Cincinnatians. Was a highly touted prospect when he was at McNick High School. Went on to Texas Tech. Wasn't the right fit, and he came back home. His dad is actually an alum of UC, where he played ball. And Boston Smith, the left-handed swinging catcher, steps in the batter's box and waves at the first pitch from Boba, fouls it back. It's 0-1.
We've seen 10 batters come to the plate so far in this game. None have reached. A lot of contact. And hit right at some of these fielders out there. Positioned well.
The 0-1 misses inside, and you see that. You don't see as many strikeouts throughout the midweek as you do on the weekend. Normally guys that are either underclassmen or projects and seniors, as down the right field line, that's a double. Boston Smith rounding first. He's heading for second, and he's going to coast into the bag. And just like you said, Paul, none had reached base, and Boston Smith put an end to that.
Yeah, it looked initially like he might have a thought at trying for third, but instead decided to just stay at second with only one out in the inning. No need to force the issue, get thrown out at third.
So a runner in scoring position for Luke Arnold. Arnold fouls one over the first base dugout. 26th start of the season, batting .241. Redshirt sophomore from Lebanon, Ohio. Didn't have to travel too far to play for the Raiders. Boba checking on the runner.
That didn't miss by a whole lot off the outside part of the plate. Good decision, though, by Arnold. Sometimes you see that fastball, you want to take a swing at it, be off the end of the bat.
As he waves at the slider, working away from him, way out in front.
And good sequencing there, keeping both pitches off the outside part of the plate. That one, though, not back to the fastball. Going to the breaking pitch. That probably would have been a strike anyway, or it would have been close to it at least.
Boba goes right back to the well on the slider, working away from Arnold. Can't get the chase. It's 2-2. So Boston Smith out at second. Not afraid to steal bags. As this is in the dirt, good job by Klingenbeck keeping in front of him.
Yeah, especially on the slick turf like that, Reed, like you mentioned before. A lot of room there out in right center. Stay with a pitch if they go into the outside part of the plate again.
Go right back to the slider, and that's going to be ball 4. Put runners on first and second, and Ben Vore step into the plate.
That's just the 9th walk of the season. And over 18 innings pitched.
This is Ben Vore's just first start of the season. He's only had 2 at-bats coming into today. 1 for 2. First pitch swing and chops one out to the third baseman, Springer. Out at second, Brooks relay over to first, not in time. So a 5-4 put out. Fielder's choice. Runners on the corners, 2 away for Ben Stoner.
And we'll see how Tommy Boba responds now to this situation. And you haven't really faced this kind of adversity yet today. It's still very early in the game. Now in the bottom of the second inning, but 2 outs. Takes a little pressure off you there with the force out at first and second.
Stoner, a redshirt freshman, 11th start on the season, struggling at the plate this year. 159 hitter, 7 hits and 44 at-bats. Though he does have 7 RBIs, and he's looking to add on to that total as the count's 0-1 to the second baseman. Checking on the runner over at first base. Handcuffs Ryan Nicholson over there.
And as for Boba on the mound, you mentioned it, Reed, when you're talking about midweek starter. These are the types of situations the coaching staff really likes to see, how you handle that kind of adversity. Runners on the corners, 2 outs early on. Keeps going back to that slider low and outside. It's in the same spot. You can tell he's trying to get these hitters to swing over the top of it.
He gets ahead in the count, then immediately goes to the well. You can tell he loves that pitch. And he's got a few fans thus far, but can't consistently find the strike zone with it as he gets a swinging strike there to make it 1-2. Runners on the corner. Luke Arnold out at first base. Boston Smith out at third.
And not a very big lead for either runner, especially Vore at first base. When he was one step crossed over back to the bag there.
Boba comes set, gets the sign from Klingenbeck. Vore up and running, the pump fake out to second. Didn't fool anyone and put runners on second and third, 2 away and a 1-2 count to Stoner. 2-2 after the miss.
Vore didn't have a great jump there. I know there was no possibility for a throw. Guidry was a little late getting over from shortstop. Not going to make that throw anyway, the runner on third, but
2-2, chopped out to Lawton Brooks. He's going to have to make a tough play. Spikes it in the turf, bounces 4 times before getting to Nicholson at first. Not in time. Put 1 run on the scoreboard as the Raiders take the lead.
That's a throw from Lawton Brooks that he's intentionally throwing into the turf, but you're not trying to throw it that shallow into the turf. You know you're going to have to give your first baseman a chance. You don't want to handcuff him. But that one bouncing 4 times doesn't give you much of a chance to get the out, and Wright State strikes first.
Avery Fisher takes a first pitch breaking ball for a called strike. Fisher batting .115 on the season. Stoner with his 8th RBI. Yeah, Brooks trying to get rid of it quickly and just didn't plant his feet underneath him. As the Raiders are looking to turn their lineup over to the top half and really put a hurting on UC here in the second inning. Fisher fouls one back, 0-2. Boba gets the sign, comes set. In the turf, keeping in front of him. Nice job by Klingenbeck. He's done fantastic. Boba has consistently missed with that breaking ball and the changeup in the turf. Klingenbeck doing a good job just keeping everything in front of him.
And think about how important that stolen base was from Ben Vore. He doesn't steal that base. Brooks can just go to second, get the force out, the inning's over. Instead, run scores, and now Vore's on third.
The 1-2. Back to the slider. Tailing away from Fisher. And just not getting that strike 3. Can't get these Raiders to chase. Lined out to center field. Viderick coming in to make the play. Well stung by Avery Fisher, but Viderick right there. The Raiders take the scoreboard first. It's 1-0 as we head to the third inning here on Love and Honor Live. Top of the third here in Oxford, 1-0 our score, and Paul Fritchner will take you through the next few innings.
Oh, thank you very much, Reed. Yeah, it's been a 6-up, 6-down affair for the Cincinnati Bearcats so far. Not much to show for their offensive output. They put some good swings on the ball. A couple of strikeouts mixed in their first 6 plate appearances. Corey Klingenbeck, Lawden Brooks, Sean Springer, the 7, 8, and 9 of this Cincinnati order coming to the plate here. Klingenbeck behind the plate today. Lawden Brooks has made some plays out there at second, and Sean Springer, the third baseman. But again, having to dig themselves out of a very, very shallow hole here. 1-0. Wright State striking first in the bottom of the second inning. Lazier goes with a fastball on the inner half, but running a little too far inside there. Lazier, 20 pitches through the first 2 innings. 14 of those were strikes. He's been incredibly efficient. But now falling behind Klingenbeck, 2-0. Lazier, again, only 9 walks in his first 15 innings pitched this year. And he's held opponents down around 200 hitting against him.
Lazier's been very good other than his first 2 appearances of the season. First 3, rather, as gave up 8 earned runs in his first 3 appearances. Since then, has not given up a single earned run. Gave up 2 runs against Xavier last week, neither of which were earned.
Slap foul, same spot from Klingenbeck.
Klingenbeck, a graduate of Elder High School. A lot of these Bearcats come from the Cincinnati area, and a lot of the Wright State players come from the Dayton area.
Gem City versus the Queen City here in Miami.
I wonder if Oxford has a nickname.
2-2 gets to the bat stop. You would know that, Reed.
I would
if
not.
you don't know it, it doesn't exist.
Probably. All I know about Oxford is old Bobby Frost said it was the prettiest campus he'd ever seen.
Payoff pitch here to Klingenbeck. Check swing, but it was called a strike anyway. Strike 3. Got him looking. That's the 3rd strikeout for Josh Lazier. 2 of those 3 have been looking, but good placement there on that pitch.
Yeah, Klingenbeck didn't like that call whatsoever. Felt like it was low, but he doesn't get the final say on that one.
Yeah, it could have been low, could have been in, but either way, it's a called strike 3, and there's 1 down for Lawden Brooks. Seen both of these pitchers go to that breaking pitch over the outer half. That one skipping through the left-handed batter's box. Lawden Brooks on the season hitting .222. He has started in 25 of the Bearcats' 29 games. No player has started all 29 games so far. Closest to that is Ryan Nicholson.
Yeah, we mentioned Lawden. His dad, Mark, was a pitcher for the Bearcats, and he's got connections to multiple teams here in the Joe Nuxhall Classic, as his high school coach, Jake Oster, played for the Xavier Musketeers.
A lot of room in left center with Andrew Patrick shaded toward right center. 1-2. It's up and in. Tried to get him to chase, and a ball in on the hands. Cloudy, windy day here in Oxford. First of 2 games on the Chatterbox Sports Network. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That is the 4th strikeout for Josh Lazier this afternoon. 2 in the first, now 2 in the second. And he is motoring through this Cincinnati lineup. 8 up, 8 down so far to set the table for the lefty, Sean Springer.
Yeah, it's been that sharp slider that has been mystifying this Bearcats lineup through the first 2 2/3 innings. And more importantly, he's been able to get ahead of these hitters. That first strike, it's the most important pitch you have in your arsenal.
Viderick, the leadoff batter, is waiting in the on-deck circle. Springer hitting below 200. One of just 2 Cincinnati hitters coming into the game hitting underneath that 200 mark, but a little asterisk there. This is only his 7th game. Not as big of a sample size as some of these other Bearcats. 1-1. Two-one now. In by his feet. He's only walked 3 times this year. Bearcats don't walk a ton, and I know that's something the coaching staff like to work on, that strikeout to walk ratio for these Bearcat hitters. 3-1, grounded foul down the first baseline. I mean, you look at Lawton Brooks, who just struck out. That was his 32nd strikeout of the season as compared to only 13 walks.
Yeah, and you're seeing it in just the way they're playing through these first 3 innings. You know, free swingers up there at the plate, attacking Josh Laser as he's attacking the strike zone.
3-2, a called strike 3. Springer knew it right away. Couldn't get the bat off his shoulder with a fastball, and that is 3 straight strikeouts for Josh Laser in the inning. 5 now on the day. He's through 3 perfect innings, and we'll be back for the bottom half of the third right after this. Welcome back to McKee Field here on the campus of Miami University. Paul Fritchner alongside Reed Mouse. And then we have Casey McAllister over there on the keys producing today's game. First of 2 here at Miami this afternoon. We have Wright State and Cincinnati, of course, the game you're watching right now. And then Xavier and the Red Hawks playing tonight at 6 as part of the Joe Nuxhall Classic. Laying down a bunt here, Andrew Patrick, the leadoff batter of the inning. Springer, the throw to first, not in time. And it's a leadoff infield single via the bunt for Andrew Patrick to set the table in the third.
And that's the most dangerous part of Andrew Patrick's game. You look at the team, he's second on the team in stolen bases, all freshman a year ago, and he led near the top of the Horizon League in stolen bases. He was 0 for his last 10 going into the at-bat, so he's trying to just jumpstart some offense here at the top half of the order. And a good start for the Raiders.
Yeah, this starting lineup for Wright State has 20 stolen bases. Patrick has half of those. He has not been thrown out yet. Patrick Foltz grounded out to second his first time up. He does that again here, and it would be a double play. Pretty routine ground ball. This one off the end of the bat. That'll go down to third. Only play is to first for Sean Springer. A bit high, but it's in time.
Yeah, good job just moving the runner up to second base and letting the middle of this lineup really go to work and onto their 1-0 lead.
Do appreciate everybody watching here on Chatterbox Sports. Go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. We'll carry all the baseball and softball games here from Miami the rest of the way this spring. Plenty more action to come, plenty more content on the YouTube channel. Sammy Sass at the plate. 0 for 1 today. He popped out to first. A great catch by Ryan Nicholson to end that first inning. Runner going on the pitch in the turf. The throw to third, not in time. Patrick takes third on the wild pitch.
Yeah, beautiful read by Patrick. He saw that in the turf right away. Klingenbeck, A for everything he did. Kept it in front of him, actually moved it down the third base line, and got a throw on the run, delivered a strike. Just Patrick too quick.
Yeah, I'm not even sure a better throw would have gotten him there. The speed there of Patrick Foltz. And now all of a sudden Boba finds himself behind in a 3-0 count. He has walked one batter today. That was Luke Arnold. Now there's one out in the bottom of the third. Wright State trying to add to their 1-0 lead And it's a 4-pitch walk to Sammy Sass. Yet again, the Raiders find themselves with runners on the corners and less than 2 out. And we're going to have a conversation on the mound. J.D. Heilman going out there to talk to his freshman, Tommy Boba. Nobody's warming in the Cincinnati bullpen. There is some stirring going on right now, but nobody has been throwing. Boba, to this point in the game, 38 pitches, 21 for strikes. And I mentioned 2 of his last 3 outings, he's gone at least 5 innings. He's thrown over 50 pitches in each of his last 4.
Yeah, that walk to Sammy Sass really isn't the end of the world, as it sets up the double play. Now, we have seen Wright State try to create a little bit of offense on these first and third situations, stealing second base, trying to elicit a throw from Klingenbeck behind home plate, and UC just let them have it last time. We'll see if they do that here against Jay Lukert. And if Wright State even attempts to steal Sammy Sass, who's 3 for 5 on stolen base attempts this season.
Lunging out at a first pitch fastball. Lukert grounded out to second to begin that second inning, but that was on the table right there before 4 straight batters reached for Wright State. Push across the 1 run. Double play gets him out of the inning. All of a sudden, you're seeing Boba miss the zone more consistently than he did in the first 2 innings.
Yeah, there's 2 outcomes on Boba's mind. It's rolling a ground ball up the middle or getting a strikeout, and Jay Lukert leads the Raiders in strikeouts this season with 25 and 100 at-bats.
Boba has made some quick throws to first. He has a really nice move over there. The problem is that these Wright State base runners just don't have that big of a lead. They are not even all the way to the cutout. Maybe a step or 2. Check to first, and again, throw is fairly close. Getting the A move every time from Tommy Boba. Not too many more satisfying feelings as a pitcher than picking a runner off. Swing and a miss. He was behind that fastball, and it's 1-2.
Where does it rank compared to blowing a fastball by a batter? Not that you or I probably did that too often in our baseball careers.
My pitches were straight, but they weren't all that fast. Another check to first. But I still cling to the one time I picked somebody off. I'll never forget it. I don't have many athletic memories in my life. The 1-2. Again, lunging at a ball off the end of the bat.
And you saw Sammy Sass show a steal before retreating. And this is what Wright State likes to do on the base pass. They take these shorter leads, and they're trying to time, taking these small hops, working away from the bag, trying to time when you're coming to the plate. If they time it correct, they'll take off. They've got the green light.
Ground ball up the middle. This could be 2 if it's fielded the right way. What a play at second by Brooks. The short hop, throw to first, double play. What an athletic play there by Brooks to end the inning. Just what the doctor ordered for the Bearcats. Wright State strands the runner at third and will head to the 4th. It's still just 1-0 Wright State. Welcome back to McKee Field here on the campus of Miami University, set for the 4th inning between between Cincinnati and Wright State. Miami will play later on this evening. That's a 6 o'clock first pitch between the Miami Redhawks and the Xavier Musketeers. First day of the Joe Nuxhall Classic. Joe Nuxhall, of course, one of the most legendary sports figures in this city of Hamilton and the city of Cincinnati.
And we got a native of Hamilton stepping into the batter's box.
That's absolutely right. Landon Vitterick trying to be the first base runner for Cincinnati today. Facing the right-hander, Josh Leisure.
Those who have been watching Chatterbox for years will recognize Vitterick.
Why would they recognize Vitterick, Reed?
He's been on Chatterbox quite a bit. Two-sport athlete at Baden.
At what school?
Stephen T. Baden High School from Hamilton.
Okay.
Starting quarterback for the Rams. Only lost one game as the starting quarterback in his whole high school career.
Ground ball to the right side. Diving stop there by Stoner. From his stomach, he throws to first, but that's late. And that's the first hit of the day for UC. First base runner of the afternoon, and we'll see how Leisure responds to his first adversity. Carrington Cross, Ryan Nicholson, the next two. There goes the runner. Ball in the turf, the throw down, not in time. Sliding just underneath the tag. Vitterick has the stolen base, his 6th of the season in 9 attempts.
Yeah, he beat the throw there, but it was a beautiful throw that took one hop on the turf and hit Vitterick in the helmet. But it was a bang-bang play, and they gave it to the runner.
Cross taking a big swing on 0-1 on a pitch inside. Top 4 already between Cincinnati and Wright State. Game-tying run out there at second. Wright State with the one run in the bottom of the 2nd inning. 0-2. So from the breaking pitch up and in to the fastball low and away. Changing the eye levels of Carrington Cross. Redshirt sophomore from Brownsburg, Indiana. Base knock ties the game. A lot of real estate on the right side. Fastball doesn't miss by much. Still pitching to the outside part of the plate even with that defensive positioning out there. From the first base side of the rubber, the 2-2. First base is open. It's not the kind of situation you want to put yourself in if you're Josh Leisure.
You got the best hitter in the lineup on deck, and Ryan Nicholson. You got a guy who's struggling at the plate.
That fastball is nowhere close. Now the first 2 have reached, so after the first 9 in the game were retired, 9 up, 9 down. First 2 have reached here in the 4th for Cincinnati.
Yeah, it's always interesting. You know, Leisure, he works exclusively out of the stretch, but still putting runners on base can just add a extra element of pressure, and you see these pitchers oftentimes the first time that they're really challenged going with runners on base, how differently they not only attack their craft but attack the hitters. And a rare walk after the leadoff base hit from Vitterick.
Nicholson, Harding, Sponseller. Go-ahead run on base with nobody out. Potential for a big inning for Cincinnati. Shows bunt, pulls the bat back, but it's still called a strike.
Nicholson won for his last 11. Had a tough series against the Shockers of Wichita State. Looking to tie this game up and maybe find a gap and give his team the lead.
This one lined into center. That'll get down, a base hit. They will keep the runner at third. Throw comes home on a line. That would have been a close play. Might have scored the run, though. The throw backing up the catcher, Boston Smith, over toward the on-deck circle by the Wright State dugout. And now the bases are loaded. A single, a walk, and a single.
It was a really nice job by Andrew Patrick, the center fielder, at deking Landon Viderick. And, you know, from our angle right away, you see that's a base hit. No way Patrick's going to get to it. But Viderick, all he has to see is how Patrick is reacting to the line drive. And he put his glove up, which just froze Viderick enough to not allow him to score on the base knock. But the Bearcats are still threatening, and Cole Harding, who had his 100th RBI just this past weekend, comes to the plate. He's looking for career number 101, 102, 103, and hell, even 104.
Still the top of the fourth. Pitch, check swing, breaking pitch on the inner half of the plate. Couple hits in the frame. Cincinnati has had some trouble with that breaking pitch. Really nice location.
Leisher's going to go right back to it, or he's going to come up with the heater up and in. Harding struck out 35 times, well leading the Bearcats.
Went to the heat, didn't get the call.
Froze him. Just barely missed his target.
Good attempt on the frame from Boston Smith. Ball and 2 strikes. Need a massive first out if you're Wright State. And there it is, a swing and a foul tip into the glove of Boston Smith. That is the 6th strikeout of the afternoon for Josh Laser. Last 4 outs have come via the strikeout.
They're going to continue just working away from Cole Harding this entire ball game. Just his swing. He steps down the third base line. So if you just have those sliders biting away from him, though he does have long arms and just can't get around to that outside pitch.
JP Sponseller lined out to short last time up. Got jammed. A ball in on the hands, fisted it out towards short. This ball kicks up the third base line. On the appeal, they say that Sponseller did not go around on the swing. That again likely would have scored the game-tying run, but with less than 2 outs, Cincinnati deciding not to be aggressive. Is a lefty warming up down in the Wright State bullpen. Top of the fourth. Ground ball gets Wright State out of the threat. It's what we saw in the last half inning in the bottom of the third. Really nice play by Lawton Brooks on the short hop to end the frame.
Yeah, you mentioned that this Bearcats team doesn't walk a whole lot. There is one guy that, you know, his on-base percentage nearly doubles his batting average, and that's Sponseller. OBP right around 400, though he's only hitting 214. So one of the best eyes in the lineup today.
This is the first time that Lazier has gone over 50 pitches since the game right here at Miami on March 22nd. In his 3 appearances since then, he hasn't even gone longer than an inning. Pitch counts 22, 22, and 11.
Yeah, keeps running that 2-seam away from Sponseller. Be interested to see what he comes back with after back-to-back 2-seams on the outside. See what he comes back with here on the 2-2.
left that breaking pitch up. Now one of the biggest pitches of the game so far, probably the biggest pitch so far. With the bases loaded, just one out. Nowhere to put the runner.
Got to challenge him here.
Payoff. Grounded out to second, but there's nobody there that'll get through into the outfield. 2-run score. Viderick is home. Cross touches home plate, and it's a 2-run single for J.P. Sponseller. That flips the tide in favor of the Bearcats. It's 2-1.
Yeah, great job by Sponseller, recognizing that Leisure was just going to keep challenging him. He's worked that two-seamer away 2 times. This time he got around on the fastball and just poked it where the Wright State Raiders weren't.
Yeah, that would have been a close play. Stoner, though, way over towards second base. Pinched up the middle for a double play. Instead, that just rolled right on through into right field. Cameron Guidry to the plate now. He hit a high chopper to Leisure his first time up. Hit in the air, right field. Fisher a few steps to his right. Runners are tagging. Nicholson will go to third. The throw is going to be close, but he beats the throw. Nicholson second to third on that play. Sponseller stays at first. Guidry is out on the flyout.
Yeah, still threatening here. Big out there for the Raiders. But you're not in the dugout yet. Can't lose focus as Klingenbeck comes to the plate. And just the way that Klingenbeck went down, you remember that borderline strike 3 call. He might be aggressive at the plate right now, trying to get his before the umpire can take the at-bat away from him.
And falling behind the hitter there. Nobody warming for Cincinnati for the next inning. It'll remain Boba from the looks of it. There's a lefty warming for Wright State. Leisure missing on the fastball. He has walked one batter already in this inning. That was Carrington Cross, who scored on the Sponseller single. Runners on the corners now, the 3-0. Had the green light, and he waved at it.
Yeah, coming out of his shoes on that 3-0. Surprised to see him hacking. Gave Leisure a gift.
Now all of a sudden you go from 3-0 to 3-2, and you put the pressure on yourself. Have to protect in a full count. 2 down in the inning. Sponseller will be moving at first. The pitch called strike 3. From 3-0 to a strikeout. Leisure gets out of the jam, but not before Cincinnati drives in 2 to take the lead. Leave a couple runners on base. It's 2-1 Bearcats into the bottom of the 4th. Bottom of the 4th inning. Here on As Reed Mouse Says, Love and Honor Live from Miami University. Paul Fritchner, Reed Mouse with you. Casey McAllister over on the production side of things today. Both teams with 3 hits. Cincinnati taking a 2-1 lead in the top of this 4th inning. Really, Reed, though, had a chance to play a couple more, but a tough plate appearance there to end the frame.
He had a chance to really break the doors open the middle part of this ball game. Runners on the corner, Klingenbeck, and really gave a gift to Leisure on the 3-0 at his eyeballs, and coming out of his shoes swinging, then take 2 in the strike zone to go down, and really had Leisure on the ropes, but tiptoed out of trouble.
Now here is Boston Smith. Transfer into this program from none other than Cincinnati, playing against his former team. Breaking pitch off the inner half of the plate. Played in 15 games last year for the Bearcats. Started 7 of them.
Got his first collegiate home run in the rivalry game against Xavier.
That was at Hayden Field last year. Of course, Hayden Field is notoriously small. Recognized around the Midwest, one of the easiest home runs parks in this part of the country. It is just 310 down the lines. You hit a pop fly and get some wind, and it is out of there. 2-1.
Not a whole lot of real estate over there on Xavier's campus,
No.
at least where Hayden Field is.
No, not at all. 10 feet behind the right field wall is the Champion Center where the athletes train, and then about 15 feet behind the left field wall is Victory Parkway. 2-2. Swinging a pitch in the dirt, but he's going to reach on a drop third strike. Wright State has a leadoff man aboard.
Yeah, that's Tommy Boba's first strikeout of the game, but not awarded with the out. And after getting 2 runs in the lead in the top half of the inning, you really wanted to see Boba come out here and get the first batter he faced. Wright State now has a chance to make that error work.
This one hit in the air right field, sending Harding back, tracking over to his right, tails into his glove for the first down of the inning.
A great swing by Arnold right there. Hit it to the opposite side of the field, barrel it up. Just ran out of room out there for Harding.
Ben Vore, then Ben Stoner. Ben's back-to-back. See the left side of the infield pulled way off the line.
Interesting to see a right-handed swinger and them shifting away from the line.
Yeah, you don't see this type of an alignment too much. Grounded foul over to the Wright State on deck circle.
We've seen the college game mirror Major League Baseball, pitch com, pitch clock. You got to wonder if they're going to outlaw the shift following suit from majors. I don't know about Xavier, but Miami, seen a lot of their games this year. They shift nearly every batter.
Yeah, they are constantly moving. No doubt about that. 2 balls and a strike. Still some action down in the Wright State bullpen, potentially for the top of the 5th. 2-1. Way out in front of that breaking pitch, and it counts even.
Yeah, overly eager. Sometimes you get in your mind at the plate saying, man, this is a great opportunity for me to hit. You start guessing, start preemptively assuming what the pitcher's going to give you. Way out in front of it there.
Grounded foul over to the left side. First of 2 days of the Joe Nuxhall Classic. Second day coming next week.
Winner plays winner, loser plays loser.
2-2 in the turf. Runner stays put. Boston Smith on back to first.
It's not the crown jewel of their non-conference season, but you definitely want to beat the local teams. Just a little bit of bragging rights, games that you remember.
Payoff incoming. Waved at it. Strike 3. Looked like he was caught off balance there. That is the second strikeout of the inning for Tommy Boba. First one, though, drop third strike is the reason that Boston Smith is on first base.
And Boba hasn't looked stronger this game. His team gives him the lead. He comes back in the bottom of the fourth looking to hang a 0.
There goes the runner. The pitch was called a strike. The throw to second, and they got him. Smith tried to steal, but the throw from Klingenbeck was in plenty of time, and we're going to head to the 5th. UC protects the lead. It's 2-1 Bearcats through 4. Into the 5th inning from McKee Field on the campus of Miami University. Paul Fritchner, Reed Mouse, on the call with you today for all 18 innings of baseball in the Joe Nuxhall Classic.
Nothing I'd rather be doing, Paul, than just
Absolutely.
chopping up some baseball with you.
Absolutely nothing else. Your Cubbies in town down at Great American Ballpark, Reed.
Yeah.
You were there last night. How'd that one go?
Yeah, you love just rubbing that in, don't you? Love rubbing it in.
It was a great game, back and forth, a lot of runs, good pace. Nice night. You were there with your wife.
It was a beautiful night. Had a great time, other than the final. Last time, I was surprised looking at the Reds' schedule. It's the last time that the Cubs are in town till September.
Yeah, you said that today. I didn't realize that either.
They're only playing 4 series now.
Yeah, because Major League Baseball has gone to that scheduling now where they play every team.
Right.
So you have one less series, or I guess 2 less series, one less at home against your divisional opponent.
It's a little frustrating, but so be it.
New pitcher on the mound, the lefty. That is Garrett Peters from South Vienna, Ohio. Transfer into this program from Ohio State. Buckeye country infiltrating Dayton. 6 foot 195, the red shirt sophomore. Closes the book on Josh Leisure. Give you his final line in just a second. First batter is Lawton Brooks facing Garrett Peters. Hit in the air, left field. This one has a chance if it stays fair. Deep down the line. If it stays fair, it is gone, but it's foul. Hit a ton, but just a few feet to the left of the left field foul pole.
And no doubter. And unfortunately for the Bearcats, they didn't have Carlton Fisk waving it fair the whole time, as that just kept trailing foul.
Final line for Josh Leisure. 4 innings. He threw 66 pitches, allowed 2 runs. Both of them were earned with 3 hits to go along with them. Just 1 walk and 7 strikeouts of the 16 batters he faced. He threw 66 pitches, 40 for strikes. Brooks taking on that looping curveball. 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, 12-6 curve right there, just trying to find the strike zone. Peters coming off his best outing of the season. Last week, pitched against Oakland, went 1 scoreless inning, struck out 2. He's played some tough teams. Had to go down in Arkansas, play the Razorbacks, had to pitch against Kentucky, who is just tearing up the SEC.
Here's the 3-1. That pitch is up and in. Ball 4. Auden Brooks reaches. That brings up Sean Springer.
Don't be surprised if Brooks isn't up and running here. Stolen 9 bags this year. Has only been thrown out 1 time. Leads the team in stolen base attempts and stolen bases. See if he's moving. He's got a big lead over there against the left-handed throwing Peters.
Springer lays off. Started to show bunt. Peters again, a redshirt sophomore, went to Northeastern High School. Did not play at all in 2021 during his redshirt year at Ohio State. Floats in another fastball up and out. You mentioned Kentucky and Arkansas. Talk about playing baseball in the SEC. There's a pitcher from the Bay Sox a couple of years ago who played in the SEC. I believe he played at Arkansas. And he told me one time that when he got married, he couldn't even publish where the church was because too many people would show up to the wedding because so many people cared about baseball down there in Arkansas.
It's really the only conference where they do it right. Just means more.
It does just mean more in the SEC. I was floored by that. You see college baseball up here. It's competitive, but just doesn't have the attention that it does in the SEC. And now a pickoff over to first, the throw to second, and it is not in time. He got in there. Auden Brooks knew he had to just go over to second. No chance he was getting back to first.
Yeah, they teach you if you're caught out dead red in between the paths, just make a decision and go. And Brooks, after he seen Peters comes over, just took off for second base, made the Raiders make a throw, and Lukert's throw to Arnold ran up towards third base. The tag was not in time.
Springer added the lead with a runner in scoring position, still shows bunt. It's 3-1.
And on top of it, Brooks recognizing he's on turf, playing on turf at his home field. You get a feel for the slides, right? You can slide just so much further, especially after the rain and the moisture that we saw this morning. Final 10 feet was all on his rear.
3-1, a fastball up and in. There is a right-hander warming for Wright State. That's back-to-back walks to begin the outing for Garrett Peters. Just to wrap up that thought about the SEC, Reed, and I always think it's interesting when you watch some of these northern teams that have to go down and play the southern teams. They take these crazy road trips to begin the season before they play their first home game. You got to play in warm weather, but it also gives you that test and it builds you up, especially as you get deeper into conference play, deeper into your conference tournament. A lot of those tough road trips, it doesn't reflect well in the record a lot of times, but it pays off in the long run getting that kind of experience.
Yeah, if you look at just going on how good these southern teams are, you look at the College World Series winner. I think in the history of the College World Series, only 2 have been north of the Mason-Dixon line. And one of them is Oregon State out west.
Vitterick can't keep the bunt fair.
Yeah, I figured he'd be bunting. True freshman, getting to the heart of the order. You got runners on first and second and nobody away, and Peters did a nice job just to get him over curveball, and then realizing Vitterick's still going to be bunting on 0-1, gave it right back to him. It's so much tougher to bunt those loopers. Now he's got to fend for himself.
The 0-2. That's in the turf, but a great job by Smith to keep the ball in front of him. Reed, the people are asking in the chat, will there be an Ask Reed segment? Will you answer a trivia question? If you're willing, to put the scoreboard stumper in the chat for anybody listening. I'm willing to ask it, and Reed is willing to answer it.
No Cubs-related content.
There might be one viewer who might ask a few of those questions. A ball and 2 strikes, nobody out in the top of the 5th. Cincinnati threatening again. And Garrett Peters just cannot find the zone right now. Walked the first 2 batters. Worked ahead here of Landon Vitterick, partially due to Vitterick trying to place a bunt down unsuccessfully.
Yeah, Peters just got to keep challenging this freshman here. You walked the first 2 batters, you found the hole, you wasted 2 away, now you got to challenge the leadoff man.
The other thing, too, here, if you're Vitterick, is with Peters struggling so mightily to find the zone, you don't want to give away an at-bat. You don't want to overswing. You look for your one pitch. What do you want to hit? And if it's not there, obviously in a 2-strike count, it's a bit different situationally.
Yeah, you're fending for yourself up there. You feel like you're already short-handed because you had to offer the bunt the first 2 pitches. Just doing everything you can to put the ball in play. With Vitterick's speed, it's going to be tough to turn 2. So just trying to find the ground.
Two, a swing and a miss. Strike 3 in the first out of the 5th comes courtesy of a Vitterick swinging strikeout. That's the 8th strikeout today for Wright State pitching between Leisure and Peters.
Yeah, and you mentioned it. That's the one real bugaboo in this Bearcats lineup right now. They're striking out 306 times coming into today's game to 220 strikeouts at their opponents. Just struggling to put the ball in play.
There go the runners. The pitch is in the turf. The throw down to third. Not in time. These runners have been getting great jumps. Brooks saw it right away. Bounced up, blocked easily by Boston Smith. The throw down was a half-second too late.
And what about that? After Landon Vitterick, who is getting ready to give himself up, strikes out, they take second and third anyways. Smith probably had a better chance at getting Springer on the back end of that double steal. You see catchers often do that because the second guy is trailing. He can't go before the Lawton Brooks in front of him leaves for third.
A ball and a strike, 1 down, top of the 5th. Ripped foul. All of a sudden, you're starting to see Garrett Peters gain some more confidence, find the zone, throw some strikes. This is really the same situation that Vitterick was, as you said, Reed, trying to set us up for. 1 out, 2 runners in scoring position. Different way to get there. That 12-6 curveball stays high.
Yeah, that's the 4th time he's thrown that curveball. He's only found the strike zone once, and that's really all that pitch is. It's not a swing and miss pitch. It's really just a get him over, freeze him.
2-2 check swing. Did he go? He did not.
Yeah, you saw him turn his hips, but he held the barrel back. After the big looping curveball, you show different spin. You come with the slider, ride it in on his back foot.
First base is open. A 3-2 incoming. Off the end of the bat, foul. Again, a right-hander warming for Wright State. Can't see the number, but that righty has been warming up for quite a while.
Getting his money worth.
No doubt. Payoff pitch again.
Keep battling.
Just barely got the tip of that one. Just staying alive. And that's all you're working with on the 3-2. you're necessarily not even worried about putting the ball in play, really putting it on the screws. You're just trying to fend off every pitch, trying to get the next man up without putting it out on the board.
3 balls, 2 strikes, just one away. Popped up, now a little deeper actually. This one off the bat, I misread it. That's deep center field. Patrick makes the catch. Tagging are the runners. The throw is cut off. It's short. In to score comes Brooks, and it's a 3-1 Cincinnati lead. Off the bat, that looked like it was going to get up higher into the air, but it kept on carrying out towards center field. Springer goes to third.
And Nicholson actually chased ball 4, but he'll take that outcome, sent it for a ride, caught the barrel, tomahawking that fastball out to center field. Easy sac fly. And still able to put another run on the board here.
And they are going to go to the bullpen. Wright State will. In a 2-out situation in the 5th. So stick with us. We'll be back right after this. Ty Roeder comes on out of the bullpen for Wright State with 2 down, and still the Cincinnati Bearcats threatening with a runner on third base. He replaces Garrett Peters. Can't close the line yet on Peters. Runner on third, Springer reaching because of him. And still, Reed, this goes back to the old adage in baseball, the walks will haunt. Wright State has not surrendered a hit in this inning. UC has walked twice, advanced 90 feet, both times on wild pitches. 1 wild pitch, runners went from first and second to second and third. And Carrington crossed the sac fly, stretched the lead to 3-1. Top of the 5th.
Now it's going to come down to Ty Roeder, who is looking to fare better on this rubber than the last time he took it. That was in that Miami game. He gave up 5 runs in an inning and 2/3 against Miami. That was that second inning when Miami took the lead. He actually hasn't fared. He's played 2 of the 3 teams here in this Joe Nuxhall Classic, Xavier and Miami. It hasn't done well either time.
3 walks today for Wright State pitching. 2 from Peters and the 1 from Josh Laser. Hit in the air deep to left field. Backing up on it is Vore all the way to the warning track, and he backpedals to make the catch. Quick out there for Ty Roeder, but Cincinnati adds a run. We are halfway home from McKee Field. To the bottom of the 5th we go. UC leading at 3-1. Bottom of the 5th inning from McKee Field. Ben Stoner, Avery Fisher, and Andrew Patrick coming to the plate here in this half of the inning. Tommy Boba still on the mound for Cincinnati. He's danced around some trouble, but he's only allowed the 1 run. He's faced the minimum on 2 of the 4 innings so far today. Couple strikeouts last inning. Batter reached on a drop third strike, but then Boston Smith was caught stealing. Here's Stoner taking the first pitch outside.
Yeah, Boba's had an interesting outing thus far. Sometimes it feels like the pitcher is doing better than you look up on the scoreboard and he's gave up 4 runs. That's been almost the complete opposite with Boba, as he has constantly found himself in hot water, but only 1 run on the scoreboard thus far.
Have to wonder what Wright State is thinking down there in the dugout as they try to ease back from this one. Nice pitch on the inner half. Two. High chopper out to third. Springer is there. Throw to first in time.
And nice play from Springer. That's such a new age play. You never see that if you're not on turf, right? You never see those high bouncers to where you're waiting on the ball to fall back. You're already in position. You're trying to keep your feet moving. Nice job by Springer by just turning his shoulders and delivering a strike over to first base after that ball fell down to him.
Yeah, and it feels like it takes forever. You're standing out there on the base path thinking, when is the ball finally going to come down into my glove? Fisher fouls the first pitch off his foot.
We've seen here at McKee Field multiple times infielders actually jumped up to go get the ball because he had to get rid of it so quickly.
Boba stepping off.
Nice pitch. Sets up this 1-2.
That's in the turf. Laying off of it is Fisher. Lined out to center field to end the 2nd inning. It's the only inning in which Wright State has scored so far today. Ground ball, again to the left side of the infield. Cut off by Springer, throw to first. That's not in time. And again, Reed just taking so long to get out there to the infield. Throw to first, didn't have a chance.
Yeah, I felt like Idri could have come up and made that play on the run instead of waiting for Springer moving to his left, as Guidry's moving through the ball. But nice job by Boba just attacking the hitter on 2-2. He could have danced around a little more, maybe thrown a slider working away, but he said, we just got to run in the top half of the inning. I'm going to go right after the hitters.
Ground ball to the left side. That's 3 in a row, but now back-to-back hits. And a runner in scoring position for the first time since the 3rd inning.
So now you got the true freshman coming up, Patrick Fultz. Trying to make a name for himself on this Wright State lineup.
Fultz, then Sammy Sass. Ground ball, this could be 2. They're just going to look for 1. Advances the runners. Boba, the underhand flip. Patrick to second, Fisher to third, 2 down.
Yeah, not what Fultz was looking for, but you can go in the dugout knowing that you at least move 2 runners up 90 feet. You put the tying run in scoring position. Obviously, with 1 out, you want to have a more productive out, but you still go in the dugout knowing you helped out your team a little bit. Now it's time for Sammy Sass to bring the runs in.
Yeah, your designated hitter, then the 3 spot with the tying run in scoring position. Really not much more you could ask for. Scott Huggins going out to have a word, and I think the day might be done for Tommy Boba. First pitch ball to Sammy Sass. We've seen several pitchers up and throwing for Cincinnati. Huggins a trademark. Well, he'll go out there and talk. He'll wait for the home plate umpire to come out and have a conversation. Then he'll make the move to the bullpen. But this time he knew right away what he was looking for. And that's indeed what we'll do. We'll have a new right-hander for the Cincinnati Bearcats. And he will enter the game after this break. We'll tell you all about Zach Siegel after this. Zach Siegel enters this game, a right-hander, in a 1-0 count, facing Sammy Sass. Lukert is after. And this is a big situation. Tommy Boba exits. 2 runners in scoring position. You have Avery Fisher at third base. Andrew Patrick is at second base. And it's the bottom of the 5th inning. Middle innings of this game.
Sass is no stranger to coming up in clutch situations. 3 home runs in the Horizon League Championship game last year. 9 RBIs in that win over Oakland. Looking to tie this game up.
2-0. Foul tip.
Run on that fastball, sidewinding. Sharp slider working away from Sass. See what he comes with on the 2-1.
Hit in the air left center field. This will get down and tie the game. 1 hop to cross in left field. In to score is Fisher and Patrick. And it's a 2-out single for Sammy Sass to knot the game at 3.
Yeah, great swing. Siegel just left the fastball up, and Sass sent it out to left center field. Sass was all over that, but Siegel really had no other option than to go with the heater there on the 2-1 count.
Now on the inner half to Lukert, who has grounded out to second both times up. Last time was an inning-ending double play. Lawden Brooks, a spectacular snag. Cincinnati has lost 6 of the last 7 games in which Siegel has appeared. Trying to turn the tide today, but inheriting those 2 runners, both of them score. Now, to be fair to Siegel, not to make that sound worse than it is, he hasn't gone very long in those games. Coming off back-to-back appearances where he only threw 17 pitches. He threw 25 pitches in a game that Cincinnati won against the Butler Bulldogs. Previous to that, it was 11 pitches, 10 pitches. Comes in when he can. This one taken foul down the first base side. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, you typically don't ask for a whole lot from sidewinders, submariners. They're more gadget pitchers, right? You bring them in, get 1 out in a crucial situation. Or at the very most, you're asking them to go 1, maybe 2 innings out of the pen. And right now, UC just needs to get back in the dugout.
Cincinnati will have the middle of the order to the plate in the bottom half of this 5th inning, or rather the top half of the 6th inning. Harding, Sponseller, and Guidry to the plate. High quality at bat now from Jay Lukert. Short lead off first for Sass. Not much of a threat to steal, just 3 on the season. Been thrown out twice.
Yeah, he keeps a short lead over there.
Really, all of these Wright State base runners haven't taken much of a lead. Line drive to short, right into the glove of Guidry, and that ends the inning, but not before Wright State strikes for 2 runs. 2 RBI single from Sammy Sass ties the game, and we head to the 6th. It is 3-3 at Miami. It's the top of the 6th inning here at McKee Field at Hayden Park. Paul Fritchner, Reed Mouse with you. It is a 3-3 game, a brand new one after the 2 runs in the bottom half of the 5th. And in for the play-by-play, it's Reed Mouse.
4-5-6-2 up for the Bearcats here in the top half of the 6th inning. UC plated 2 runs in the 4th, 1 in the 5th. Wright State took the lead back in the 2nd inning and then tied it up thanks to a 2-run single from Sammy Sass. So we'll see Cole Harding, JP, Sponseller, Cameron Guidry due up. Facing off against Ty Roeder. First pitch slider finds the strike zone. Get him over. Harding 0 for 2. Lined out to left center field, and Harding has a base knock to begin the 6th inning.
It's going to be interesting to see how Cincinnati responds after giving up those 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th. And that's a good way to start. Solid piece of hitting into the gap.
Now we've seen the Bearcats not be afraid of small ball here, but with the middle of their lineup up, I think they're just going to hack away as Sponseller comes in with 2 great at-bats. Singled his last time. He lined out his first trip. As he takes the first pitch from Roeder. Misses up and away, 1-0. Harding over there at first base. Not afraid to steal a bag or 2. Six for 7 on stolen base attempts this season. Takes a generous lead, but staying put as the fastball rides up and away from Sponseller.
Again, make sure if you're watching right now, subscribe to the channel. Like the video if you're watching on YouTube. I know some of you may be watching on your smart TVs, wherever you are.
2-0 finds the strike zone. Yeah, if you're new to Chatterbox Sports, take a gander around the channel. You'll see Paul's pretty face on a few of the clips we have around there. The live shows, Off the Bench, one of the producers. Casey McCollister, the other producer on Off the Bench with Thom Brennaman. And he's producing this game. Tickling the keys.
Casey over here working the magic, cutting the cameras, working the score bug, everything.
2-2 the count to Sponseller. Roeder comes set. Jump move over there to first base, not in time. As Lukert slaps the tag on Harding. Right side of the infield wide open as the middle infielders are lined up for the double play. 2-2. Foul tipped. Got him to chase on the slider, riding in on that back ankle. Sponseller able just to get a piece of it, staying alive. Sponseller chokes up on the bat just a hair. His back foot open stance right on the line of the batter's box as he fouls one over the J. Hayden Baseball Center down the third base line. Sun trying to peek through the clouds. Warm day here in Oxford as the bats have started to warm up here in the past few innings. The 2-2 from Roeder. Fouled back once again, and Sponseller once again put in a nice at-bat together.
Yeah, 5 of the 6 runs in this game coming in the last 2 innings.
Sponseller with 9 hits and 42 at-bats coming into today. Had to hit his last time up. As he chops one into right field on that wide open right side of the infield. Rounding second and heading for third is Harding. The cutoff. Not in time as runners are on the corners and nobody away for Cameron Guidry. We mentioned left-handed hitter up at the plate, but the second baseman, Stoner, had to pinch up the middle to turn 2. Left it wide open for Sponseller. And now the native of Georgia steps into the batter's box, Guidry. First pitch swinging, lined out to right field. Fisher's underneath it. Going to try and make a play at the plate. Cut off by Lukert, and the tag not in time. As once again the Bearcats regain the lead. It's 4-3.
That was a nice throw in right field from Avery Fisher. Wasn't all that far behind Cole Harding trying to score. They do take the lead, but still a nice defensive play and even better situational hitting from Cameron Guidry. And now you'll see Klingenbeck come up here with 1 out. Still the inning very much alive for the Bearcats, trying to add to the lead.
Yeah, Klingenbeck, the redshirt sophomore, transfer from Walters State, had 14 home runs in JUCO last year. Trying to earn a spot in the everyday lineup. This is his 11th start. He's batting .152 on the season. Has struck out twice, both times looking. The 0-1 from Roeder. Chopped out to the second baseman, Stoner. They get the force out at second as Arnold holds on. A 4-6 put out for the second out. So 1 runner on, and Lawden Brooks steps to the plate. Brooks has had his name called a few times this ball game, mostly on the defensive side. We were wowed by that double play just a few innings ago. First pitch in there for a called strike on the outside. 0-1 the count to the starting second baseman.
Sun trying desperately to peek through the clouds.
Yeah, it's getting brighter and brighter here at McKee Field at Hayden Park. The 0-1 to Brooks gets by the catcher, Boston Smith. And moving up into scoring position is Klingenbeck. Probably a pass ball as Smith could have corralled that. Brooks, 1-1. Popped up into shallow right center field. Fisher coming in, calling off the second baseman, Stoner, and will put the squeeze on for the third out. 4-3 our score. The Bearcats regain the lead as we head to the bottom half of the 6th inning here on Love and Honor Live. Bottom of the 6th here in Oxford. McKee Field at Hayden Park. The venue for this doubleheader, the Joe Nuxhall Classic, honoring the old left-hander. UC versus Wright State here in Game 1. In Game 2, we have Xavier versus the home team, Miami. Winners play winner, loser plays loser. And towing the rubber for the Bearcats is Garrett Harker. Harker on the season. A 6.17 ERA, 23 1/3 innings pitched. He has struck out 18, walked 14. His whip right around 1.84. Most recently went 4 innings against Wichita State over the weekend, in which he gave up 3 earned runs, struck out 3 batters. So Harker not afraid to come out of the pen and go multiple innings, and they're probably going to ask for a couple as he replaces Zach Siegel. Regain the lead. And leading off for Wright State here in the 6th inning is Boston Smith. Boston Smith on the day. Struck out and he doubled down the right field line. Harker kicks, steals, misses upstairs. 1-0. So 2-0 here to the starting catcher for Wright State. Harker, a native of Lebanon, Indiana. Comes from an athletic family. His sister Tori played volleyball at IU East. His brother Isaac played in the Canadian Football League. Was a quarterback for the Saskatchewan Raiders. Rough Riders, rather. And a 4-pitch walk will begin things here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. In steps Luke Arnold. Arnold has sacrificed himself 1 time this season. Comes in today batting .241. Takes the first pitch for a called ball. That's 5 balls for Harker out of the pen, and they're going to go check on him. I mentioned Harker has worked 23 innings this season. And he has walked 14 batters in those 23 innings. Walked 2 just over the weekend. But really, it was the first couple outings on the season that he struggled finding the zone. Since then, reined it back in. And J.D. Heilman's going to ask him to rein it in here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. So 1-0 the count. Harker comes set. Kicks, deals, called strike, and that's the first strike out of the pen for the right-hander. Arnold awaits the 1-1. Infield playing straight up, and Arnold flares one out to left field, and that's going to be a single. Put runners on first and second, and nobody away here in the bottom half of the 6th inning, and the Raiders are threatening. Ben Vore steps in. We mentioned this is his first start of the season. So likely will be a opportunity for Vore to sacrifice himself, get the tying run over to third, and the go-ahead run out to second base. And Ryan Nicholson and Springer moving in to defend the bunt as Harker finds the strike zone to make it 0-1. Vore did show, did come around. Guidry, Brooks playing up the middle. Nicholson moving up to defend the bunt, and the 0-1's in there for a called strike. So Vore swinging away as Harker quickly puts Vore in an 0-2 well. Slider working away from Vore, puts him down for the first out.
Yeah, good location there, keeping it again away from the end of the bat. That's not a hittable pitch, but it's a pitch that a lot of hitters like to swing at, just as you see right there. Vore can't lay off.
So in steps Ben Stoner, 1 for 2 on the day. Wright State opts not to move the runners over. And Harker coming up with a big strikeout. Going right back to the well on that slider just to get him over. 0-1's the count to Stoner as he awaits the offering. Foul tip bounced right around home plate as Klingenbeck shows his fancy footwork. Trying to jump into fair territory as if that was going to make a difference. It's where the ball is, Paul. Not where your feet are.
Home is where your heart is, Reed.
0-2. Back-to-back strikeouts. Put 2 outs on the board, and Harker, after walking the leadoff man and giving up a single to Luke Arnold, gets 2 huge outs against the bottom half of this Raider lineup.
The sequencing was almost the same, and he kept the same pitch in the same spot. Second straight hitter couldn't lay off.
See if he goes back to that get-him-over slider to get ahead of Avery Fisher. Fastball fouled over the first base dugout. Fisher lined out to center field his first time. Reached on an error his last time, came around to score. That was just last inning. Awaits the 0-1. Fastball rides up and in. A little bit of wind here in Oxford, blowing out towards the left field foul pole. But an overall gorgeous day other than the gloom as the slider is fouled straight back.
Does he go to the same pitch here, Reed?
We'll see. He does. Slider works away. Didn't get the chase from Avery Fisher. Learned from the 2 batters in front of him.
Yeah, and he didn't keep that one as close to the zone as the first 2. Easier to lay off.
And the farther the way the pitch works, the earlier it breaks. 2-2. Fastball blown by Avery Fisher, and after walking the leadoff man and putting runners on first and second with nobody away, strikes out the side. As we head to the 7th, it's 4-3 here on Love and Honor Live. Welcome back to Oxford, Ohio. It's the top of the 7th. I'm Reed Mouse, joined along here with my second best friend in the entire world, Paul Fritchner, the best, of course, being Casey McAllister, who's producing this game. 4-3 our score and a new arm. It's Tristan Hott. On the season, Hott has a 9.12 ERA, a whip right around 1.5. This is his 11th appearance. He's gone 24 and 2/3 innings. He has struck out 29 batters, only walked 7, so a lot of strikes you'll see from the right-hander. The senior from Richmond, Ohio, 6'3", 210. Looking to repeat the success he had against NKU over the weekend. 2 1/3 innings pitched, only 2 hits given up, struck out 3, as he looks to keep this game right at 4-3. Due up for Cincinnati, Sean Springer, then back to the top half of the order, and Landon Viderick and Carrington Cross.
One thing Ty Roeder did exceptionally well was throw strikes. 16 pitches, 13 strikes. Close the line on all 3 pitchers while we have a second here. Leisure, 4 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned, a walk and 7 strikeouts. Already talked about him. Garrett Peters, 2/3 of an inning, did not allow a hit, but he did allow a run, 2 walks and a strikeout. Then Ty Roeder, an inning and a third, 1 run, it was earned, 2 hits, no walks, no strikeouts. And like I said, 16 pitches, 13 of those were strikes.
And Hott getting a swinging strike to begin things here in the 7th. So a quick recap. The Bearcats have scored in each of the last 3 innings, 2 in the 4th, 1 in each of the 5th and 6th inning. Wright State took the lead back in the 2nd, tied it up on the Sammy Sass single back in the bottom half of the 5th. Surrendered that lead last inning. You see, looking to keep the mojo going. Hott on an 0-2 against Sean Springer. Springer, not an everyday player, but hit a home run over the weekend, so getting the start here in the Joe Nuxhall Classic. Seems fitting that a left-hander would get the start in the Joe Nuxhall Classic. As the 1-2 slider gets away from Hott, it bounces and ricochets off the shin of Springer, and that's a leadoff base runner.
Reed, you and I, both alums of the Hamilton Joes broadcast team.
Yeah.
Named, of course, in honor of Joe Nuxhall.
Youngest player to ever play in Major League Baseball. Of course, longtime broadcaster. Viderick, the leadoff man. 1 for 3, struck out his last time. Got things rolling in the 4th inning with a leadoff single. Stole second base, came around and scored. First pitch misses to the freshman. Hacking down the left field line, but foul. 1-1. Be a big out as the Bearcats are just close to the teeth of their lineup. So Hott's going to look to retire Viderick, maybe even get a ground ball before facing Carrington Cross, Ryan Nicholson, and Cole Harding. Bounced in front of home plate, and Springer's going to take second on the wild pitch. So just Hott's 3rd wild pitch of the season. And a runner's in scoring position for Viderick. We've seen him try to sacrifice himself last time. He's got a lot of speed, so a bunt necessarily wouldn't be a true sacrifice. But he's swinging, hits it to the right side of the infield. Lukert flips it over to Hott. Bang, bang play over there at first base, but they'll have it for the first out. Viderick does a nice job moving the runner over to 3rd. And we'll see Carrington Cross.
Yeah, that's now twice in a row that we have seen Sean Springer walk to get to first base, get a wild pitch to get to second base, then get advanced to 3rd. Both times it's been with less than 2 outs.
So Cross awaits the first pitch from Hott. Hacking. Cross, a free swinger. 3rd on this team in hitting coming into today. batting .256, an OPS over 750. He's got 12 RBIs on the season, looking for number 13. As he's going to go get some fresh pair of gloves. Might have ripped on that last swing. And we'll do it at 0-1. So Springer out at third. Infield playing in. Cross on the day 0 for 2. Struck out back in the first inning. Had a sacrifice fly his last time. Called strike on the outside. 0-2. Smith gives the sign. Hawk comes set. Out to center field. Patrick underneath it. Have it for the second out. Doesn't transfer it into his throwing arm in time, and that's a slide into home. Springer scores, makes it 5-3. The second sacrifice fly of the game for Carrington Cross. Just like the first, out to center field. And the Bearcats add on.
Yeah, I almost wonder if Andrew Patrick may have been able to throw out Sean Springer if he had had a clean transfer. It was fairly close, but he took a while to get that ball out of his glove.
And you saw the cannon.
Yeah.
On a fly, on a line from center field, medium depth. But just didn't transfer it in time. And we'll see Ryan Nicholson. Single back in the fourth inning. The tall first baseman awaits the 0-1. That bounces in front of home plate. Halt's not afraid to bounce one up there. Peers in to home. And misses on the 1-1 on the inside.
Rita, see a question in the chat. Bob asking, does this channel televise the Hamilton Joes? We do not.
We do not. Though we know the broadcaster of the Joes, at least for the last 2 years. I think they might be going elsewhere this year. Luke West Poley, who has been on this Love and Honor Live multiple times. No, they have started their own channel. 2-2. Bouncing in front of home plate. You almost wonder if Ryan Nicholson just waved the bat right there. Try to steal first.
That ball went into the dugout. All he would have had to do is take a light swing.
And the payoff pitch to the first baseman of the Bearcats. Foul into first base dugout. And we'll do it again. Look out there in the Bearcats dugout. The 3-2. Fouled back. Nicholson putting a nice at-bat together. So many of these hitters in UC's lineup defer to the open stance. Almost every single one of them. Nicholson no different as he takes the 3-2 downstairs. It's a 2-out walk. So now we'll see Cole Harding. Harding 1 for 3. We mentioned this is the first of 2 ball games here on Love and Honor Live today. A 6 p.m. slate. We'll see Xavier versus Miami. Winner of this game will play the winner of that game. And they'll conclude the Joe Nuxhall Classic next week. If you're a Miami fan, we'll also be here for the softball series this weekend. Lined out to center field. This will drop in front of Patrick for a 2-out base hit.
Back-to-back innings with singles for Cole Harding. Last time he came around to score, that was in the leadoff spot in that 6th inning. The middle part of this order, Reed, 4 hits today, all singles.
Yeah, Sponseller with 2 base hits. Both the almost identical. Just peeked it through the 4-hole on the right side of the infield. And now you can see Ben Stoner shading into shallow right field, trying to prevent that happening a third time. Slider finds the strike zone, 0-1. Six hits in the ball game for UC, 7 for Wright State. UC made the most of their base runners. It's been the walks that have been the determining factor. As this rides low and in, Boston Smith have to play hockey goalie just to keep that from getting to the backstop. Decent crowd here at McKee Field for this 2 p.m. game. We'll see if the crowd gets bigger for the night affair, as this is flown out to left field. Moving towards the line is Vore. He's underneath it for the third out. So they threaten with 2 away, but are unable to scratch any more across. They do get 1 run here in the top half of the 7th. It's 5-3 as we head to the bottom on Love and Honor Live. Bottom of the 7th here in Oxford, Ohio. 5-3 our score. The fans here at McKee Field just got up, stretched, saying, "Take me out to the ball game," as Paul led them.
Absolutely.
Here on the PA.
It's a trademark special, Fritchner.
Did it for the Bowie Bay Sox.
I have been known to sing the national anthem every once in a while. Not well, but I've done it. Not well, though.
You know the words, and that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Garrett Harker out for another inning of work for the Bearcats here in the bottom half of the 7th. He'll face off against the top half of the Raiders lineup. Andrew Patrick, Patrick Foltz, and Sammy Sass. Patrick, a lot of speed. We mentioned coming into today was 0 for his last 11. Trying to jump start with a bunt single back in the 3rd inning. Then had another single his last time up in the 5th. So he saw his batting average plummet to 2nd best on the team, and has had a nice day here as the sun is finally shining through the clouds, as the gloom has gotten the best of Casey McAllister here in the press box. So now we got a little sunshine in our life. 2-1's the count. Harker gets the sign from Klingenbeck. Slider, and that gets by the glove of Springer as he was tied up all the way down the left field line, rattles up against the wall, and Patrick coasts into second with a double, a leadoff double at that. And that just tied up, hog-tied Springer out there at third base.
Yeah, and you wonder, you look down the lines here and how deep it is. It was a nice play from Carrington Cross and left. Barehand that ball right off the wall and get it back in, keep Patrick to a double. But a 3-hit day. You wonder if Wright State here can tie the game at the top of the lineup.
So Patrick Foltz, true freshman from Springfield, Shawnee. Multiple sport athlete. Holds a few basketball records for Shawnee. Here to make his name as a Raider. A lot of speed out there at second base. Fultz represents the tying run. Harker comes back on the 2-0, the fastball on the inside half of the plate. 2-1's the count. Three hits in the ball game for Andrew Patrick, as Harker finds the calf of Fultz. First and second, and you don't want to see Sammy Sass stepping up to the plate, but here he is. We mentioned Sass, 2 RBI single his last time. Famously plated 9 runs in the Horizon League Championship, thanks in great part to 3 home runs. Sass, a highly touted prospect out of Upper Arlington. Paul, you know their mascot?
I don't, but I know you'll tell me.
Golden Bears, Jack Nicklaus. And Sass singles out to center field, and it gets away from Landon Fiderick. Doesn't field it cleanly. The throw into second base to split the runners. And there's runners on the corner, and it's 5-4.
Yeah, Fiderick kicked that ball in center field. I'm not sure it really made a difference where the runners ended up. They probably would have still been on the corners anyway. Good piece of hitting from Sammy Sass. You teed that up well, Reed. Sass doing some damage now in the tying run 90 feet away.
So Jay Lukert, multiple time Horizon League honoree. One of the players to watch, preseason All-American. He's also the closer for the Raiders. 1-0's the count to the starting first baseman as Harker checks on. Sammy Sass over at first base. Cincinnati does have a right-hander working in the bullpen. Can't see the number as Lukert fouls it over the screen here. On deck is Boston Smith. Lukert working on an 0 for 3. He did line out to Guidry his last time. The 1-1 from Harker. Out to right field, and Harding can't make the play. It gets by the right fielder and rattles up against the wall. Rounding third and heading for home, Sammy Sass scores. And a comedy of errors here in the inning give Wright State the lead. And even on the relay in home, Lawden Brooks slipped up on the throw. So a few defensive miscues give Wright State a 6-5 lead.
Yeah, now all of a sudden the whole complexion of this game has changed because there's still nobody out. I have to wonder how much longer we'll see Harker here on the mound. But you could potentially say there were almost 2 errors on that play.
Yeah, Harding couldn't get to the ball in time. You could see the indecision on whether or not he tries to make a play to catch it on a line, and at last second bailed, and because we're playing on turf here, had to hop up, and it just got by him and ran all the way to the right field wall. And here we got an 0-2 count on Boston Smith as Harker's looking to retire the first batter of the inning. So it's a single by Lukert and an error by the right fielder. The third of the ball game by the Bearcats. And Smith's going to go down swinging. Klingenbeck on the put out over to first base. So retire Smith on strikes. And we'll see Luke Arnold. Arnold singled his last time up. Infield still playing in. Back and forth, seesawing game. Currently sees the Raiders on top. Slider squirts away from Klingenbeck. Unable to get to it quickly. Arnold, right-handed swinger. Waves the bat as he awaits Harker and offers at the 1-0. Comes up empty.
10 hits now in this game for Wright State. Bats coming alive in the last 3 innings.
It really has felt like Wright State has been in control of the game, just in the way. If you shielded your eyes from the scoreboard and just remember every at-bat, it feels like they're in control, but that's not been the case. UC has made the most of their opportunities. And here, Wright State plates 3 runs, at least 3 runs here in the bottom half of the 7th, thanks in part to a couple of errors. Chopped softly out to Guidry, and he slips on the slick turf. And that's going to be another error, as Jay Lukert will score, and it's now 7-5.
Hey, give him a hit on that, Reed.
Not in my scorebook.
Give him a hit, I guess, that he just lost his footing. Fielded the ball cleanly, lost his footing, and inning continues.
Second time this inning that infielders have lost their footing. Remember, Springer on the leadoff double from Andrew Patrick got tied up and fell down to the turf. Ben Vore steps in, 0 for 3. Takes the 1-0 that rides up and in.
Very long half inning here. Just 1 out still.
And no cavalry for Harker yet, as he falls behind 3-0. Vore struck out his last 2 trips to the plate. Will likely have the red light. It's all about hanging the crooked numbers on the scoreboard, Paul.
They've done that now. 4 runs in this bottom of the 7th. This bottom of the lineup here has a couple of hits today.
Strike 2. So the scoreboard had the count wrong. It's now 2-2 to Vore. Harker comes set, looking for a ground ball. Instead, Vore will pop it over the first base dugout. Saw Arnold show that he was going to steal. Retreated quickly back. Arnold only has attempted 2 stolen bases this season. Was successful in once. As Vore goes down swinging on the slider, working away from him.
5th strikeout now.
His 3rd of the game for Vore.
Yeah, reached on that fielder's choice in the 2nd inning. Last 3 times up, he's waved and missed.
So Stoner working on a 1 for 3. 2 away, 1 runner on. Looking to add on to their lead. Wouldn't be the worst time for Luke Arnold to try to swipe a bag. He doesn't do it a whole lot. And Harker recognizes that and checks on the runner. Wright State all wearing stirrups today. Don't see that a whole lot in today's game. Yeah, Stoner waves at the 0-1. Comes up empty as a fastball riding up and in. And Harker looking to get back in the dugout. The 0-2 as he comes set. Tries the heater once again. Couldn't get Stoner to chase. Called strike 3 on the inside. 4 runs are plated here in the bottom half of the 7th. It's 7-5 here at McKee Field. You're watching Love and Honor Live. Top of the 8th here in Oxford, and you see that sun shining through. Paul, the sun shines on you. Take it away.
Thank you, Reed. It is a lovely day here at Miami, and it's a lovely day after some rain this morning. My goodness, the skies opened up around 8:30 or 9 o'clock this morning, and now here we are. Still damp, though, as you can tell if you've been watching this game, especially in the last couple of innings. The damp field has really played into the conditions of this game, and it essentially allowed Wright State to score 4 runs in the bottom half of that 7th inning. And now, just like that, Wright State is only 6 outs away from what would be their 16th win of the season.
And they'll turn to Chris Gallagher, the sophomore from Indianapolis. He's had a tough 2 recent appearances. Pitched against Xavier last week and Northern Kentucky as well. 1 inning pitched in those 2 appearances, 6 earned runs. So looking to fare better here in the top half of the 8th.
Final line on Tristan Haught, an inning. Gave up 1 run. It was earned on a hit, a walk, no strikeouts. First pitch to Cameron Guidry is inside.
I love these midweek games. Just a Johnny Allstaff.
Always.
Go up to the pitching coach and said, hey, who's throwing today? And he looks at everyone and goes, you guys are.
Yep, the 5th rather pitcher today for Wright State. 15th pitcher, and it would probably be about 8 o'clock right now. This is the 8th combined pitcher between both teams. 3-0. Outside, ball 4. Tying run comes to the plate.
Yeah, though Gallagher has struggled this year, a 6.55 ERA. This is his 12th appearance. Walks really haven't been the issue. Only 6 walks on the year. Though he did walk 2 batters over the weekend against Northern Kentucky when he surrendered 2 earned runs without recording an out.
Klingenbeck, then Brooks. 4 straight pitches on the walk to Guidry outside the zone, and now the first one to Klingenbeck is a little low.
The one thing we haven't seen in this ball game is any pinch hitters. And typically you see, you do start other guys midweek that you don't traditionally start. Maybe you're platooning guys and said, hey, this is your chance to earn more time, like Klingenbeck, the catcher today. But you get to these hairy situations in the 8th inning, and you start looking at your bench and said, all right, we need to turn towards our hitters. But still have yet to see a pinch hitter for either team.
Klingenbeck today, 0 for 3. Did reach on the fielder's choice. Lawden Brooks waiting. The bottom of this order looking to come through for Cincinnati. Crowding the plate is Klingenbeck. He hits this one deep. This one going back toward the wall, and the catch is made on the run by Avery Fisher. Off the bat, the fans oohed and awed, thinking that one might have a chance over the wall, but Fisher was able to get right underneath of it and the warning track.
And the toughest part about being an outfielder is just the spatial awareness of how close you are to the field. And when you're traveling away, when you're going to not your home ballpark, obviously we're not at Nishwit Stadium up there in Dayton, it's hard to recognize, hey, I'm near the wall, but a great job by Fisher finding that warning track and finding the wall and making a fantastic play.
Lawden Brooks 0 for 2, but he did walk and score a run in the 5th. Lob over to first.
A lot of attention's being put on Guidry over there at first base. You got a 2-run lead. You got to focus on the hitter, the task at hand.
Not thrown a lot of strikes yet. Sean Springer waiting in the on-deck circle. That's now 3-0. Again, just need strikes if you're Wright State.
Yeah, when these sidewinders start missing the zone. They don't have that just over-the-top fastball that can just get it over. You find yourself just throwing too many gadget pitches. So it's hard to find the zone, hard to rein it back in at times.
Fought off and on the hands of Lawton Brooks. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, you're watching on your computer or your phone, click that like button. Like the video. I see over 220 people watching right now. 3-2, up and out, ball 4. And the tying run is on base. 2 walks of the first 3 hitters in this 8th inning. That brings up, Reed, you guessed it, a pinch hitter, but they're going to go to the bullpen. Wright State makes a move, and we'll see a lefty come out of the pen for Wright State, try to get the final 5 outs of this game. We'll be back after this. Are back now on Love and Honor Live from McKee Field at Hayden Park, and Wright State goes to their 6th pitcher of the day to try and get out of this game. This one is Joey Valentine, the left-handed freshman from Edina, Ohio. Edina right up the road. But just 1 out in this 8th inning and the tying run on base. Chris Gallagher only lasted 3 hitters, and he walked 2 of them.
Yeah, it's going to come to Valentine to shut the door. He was fantastic a couple weeks ago right here on this mound against Miami. 2 innings strong. Gave up 0 earned runs, struck out 2. Had to throw a lot of pitches in those 2 innings, though. 49 is... UC's going to look to really put the test on the left-handed swinger.
And we have a pinch hitter coming up to the plate for the Bearcats against the lefty. Alec Jones, catcher, transfer into the program from Oral Roberts. He's from all the way across the country. Poway, California.
Yeah, a long way from home.
Jones replacing Springer. New pitcher, new hitter. And he looks at the first, low and outside.
We're having trouble with our center field camera at the moment, so I'll try to get that back here in time. But Alec Jones, after struggling his first 2 trips in college, Oral Roberts and JUCO out in California.
Check the second, not in time, but a good look.
Has found some success.
Ball and no strikes. Again, the tying run at first base. Swing and a miss. Went right at him there with that pitch.
Yeah, challenging fastball. Exactly what Alex Jones wanted. Fastball up. Just blew it by him.
Alec Jones, the redshirt junior. Called strike on the inner half.
Yeah, you see him talking with the home plate umpire Asking how far he'll come in.
One and two the count. That's low and in. Alec Jones working a good at-bat against the lefty, Joey Valentine. Vitterick waiting in the on-deck circle. 2-2. Barely missing. And what a huge pitch impending now. Runners on first and second. This would put the tying run in scoring position if Jones is able to work a walk. Check the second. Valentine coming set. The pitch. In the dirt, Alec Jones works a walk. The tying run is at second. The go-ahead run is at first, and there's still just one out in the inning. All three runners on base have reached on a free pass. And again, the second game of this Joe Nuxhall Classic between Xavier and Miami, set to start at 6 o'clock. The pitch, that's in the dirt.
What about this situation? Freshman on freshman. Joe Nuxhall Classic, playing a rival team here in Southwest Ohio. Bragging rights on the line. Comes down potentially right here in the 8th inning.
Ball, no strikes, one away in this top of the 8th. Fouled off. Top of the lineup for Cincinnati. Vitterick has reached once. It was on a single. A single would tie the game. Low and outside. And the last thing you can do here if you're Wright State is walk in a run. A lot of pressure on this left-hander. Nowhere to put Vitterick. The 2-1. That finds the outer half of the plate.
Yeah, good comeback pitch. And you're at the plate right now. This guy's been all over the place. You do not feel comfortable in the box whatsoever. Lefty on lefty matchup. Tough spot to be in.
2-2. Swung on and missed. Strike three to Vitterick, who strikes out for the second time today. And now Wright State is an out away from getting out of the jam. Massive pitch to the outer half of the plate. And it's Carrington Cross. Last two times up, Cross has come to the plate with a runner on third base. Both times he's driven in the run on a sac fly. Can't do that here with a two-out situation. And it gets to the backstop. This should score a run. The throw home. There is no throw to the plate. Guidry scores. Up to third goes Lawden Brooks. To second goes Alec Jones.
Yeah,
we have a one-run game.
Interesting play because Boston Smith got back there in time to potentially make a play at home, but just opted to hold on to it instead of flipping it to Joey Valentine.
One out. Fouled off. Yeah, I'm going back and looking at it again. I'm not sure he would have been able to make the play, but certainly would have been close. Carrington cross looking to tie the game. A 1-1 count. Up and in.
More so than anything, that puts the go-ahead run in scoring position. So now one hit regains the lead for the Bearcats.
And the 2-1. There's a called strike. Keeps just throwing in those fastballs. Say sometimes the save comes in the 8th. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Wow, what a pitch. Another fastball. Cincinnati leaves 2 runners stranded and will head to the bottom of the 8th. Wright State looking to add to the lead. And we'll be back after this on Chatterbox Sports. Go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Cincinnati cut into the lead. They have now scored a run in every inning since the 4th. 2 in the 4th, then 1 more in the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. But Wright State's 4 runs in the 7th inning are the difference right now. It is 7-6 in favor of the de facto home team today. And we have Jackson Murphy on the mound for Cincinnati. And Avery Fisher is at the plate for Wright State. Fisher, then Patrick and Fultz, 9-1-2 in this inning. Jackson Murphy, the redshirt senior, delivers a first pitch ball outside. Went to IMG Academy, but he's from right here in Cincinnati. Appeared in a team-high 23 games, all out of the bullpen last year. That was after 22 appearances in 2021. This one a flare out into shallow right field, but with plenty of room. Lawton Brooks makes the catch for out number 1.
Yeah, nice play getting in on the hands of Avery Fisher. Trying to just muscle his way out into shallow right field. Lawton Brooks right there to make the play. Murphy's been a long time just cowbell out of the bullpen for the Bearcats. Someone you can call on.
$15 1/3 innings this year. 11 runs, all earned.
Comes out the side. Very nonchalant in his delivery. A lot of run on that fastball.
Hit in the air right field. Good swing on it, but Harding will have room for out number 2. One more to go in the 8th. Patrick Fultz And Sammy Sass then, if he could reach. Fultz today was hit by a pitch and scored in the 7th inning. He showed bunt, but that one's called for a ball.
Yeah, that was his only time reaching a board. He's grounded out of the 3 other trips. Looking to put a little pressure on. Looking to add some insurance here in the bottom half of the 8th.
1-0. Slap foul. One ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Pitch. Just about an hour and a half to game 2 of the Joe Nuxhall Classic today. 2-2 pitch inside. Called ball 3.
Yeah,
Cincinnati fans here wanted that called strike.
Yeah, competitive pitch there from Murphy. Just riding that inside of the left-handed swinging Fultz. See if he challenges him here on the payoff.
Grounded back up the middle. This has a chance, and it sneaks through into center field. Cincinnati fans frustrated with that one. Thought they should have had strike 3 a pitch earlier, but Fultz is aboard with his first hit of the day.
If I'm Wright State here, I might send Fultz up and running. You got your best hitter at the plate in Sammy Sass. Fultz on the season doesn't steal a whole lot, but he is successful, 1 for 1. Knowing at the worst you've got your 3-4-5 due up in the bottom half of the 9th inning, if it should come to that. At the best, you got a runner in scoring position with Sammy Sass at the plate.
Final line for Garrett Harker through those 2 innings. Allowed 5 hits, 4 runs, but only 1 of them earned, with a walk and 6 strikeouts. Yeah, 1. Sammy Sass falling behind 0-2. Just came up last inning. Singled, came around to score. He has reached his last 3 times to the plate. No balls and 2 strikes. Popped up right side. This looks to be getting out, although we saw Nicholson earlier in this game make a play. That one twists into the bullpen. And it stays 0-2. 2 down in the bottom of the 8th. Wright State 3 outs away from a win, looking to add to their total. Jackson Murphy is all over the strike zone. Only 2 walks in his 15 1/3 innings coming into the day. There goes the runner. Pitch is fouled off. Fultz will have to go back.
Now you got to keep putting pressure on. I'm going to send Fultz pretty much every pitch from here on out because you got nothing to lose. Sass has 2 strikes at the plate. It's not like you're going to spoil a good at-bat here from Sass. And like I said, best case scenario, you get a runner in scoring position. Worst case, you just bring up your 3-hole again in the bottom half of the 9th.
Oh, 2. Another foul ball.
A lot of challenging pitches from Jackson Murphy. Just can't seem to put away Sass. Sass strikes out on nearly a 5th of his at-bats. 20 Ks coming into today and 100 at-bats.
Now this one, foul ball to the left side.
And that's kind of Murphy's MO, right? Not a whole lot of strikeouts in his career. Pitches to contact quite a bit.
Short lead, check to first. Saw him bouncing around over there.
Yeah, there's that Wright State school of stealing bases. Short lead, hopping around, trying to time it perfectly.
0-2. Hear that skip through the turf. Cincinnati trying to end the inning, but a wild pitch will get all the way to the backstop. That allows Fultz to get into scoring position, and it takes the force out away from second base. Which means Sammy Sass has a runner in scoring position, still with 2 outs.
Here you go. You got that guy at the plate who's only been retired one time and was on an incredible play by the first baseman, reaching out of play to catch a foul ball. Other than that, 2 singles and has walked. So seeing the ball well with a runner in scoring position.
2-2. Swing and a miss and a pitch in the turf. Wright State strands the insurance run, and we will head to the 9th. Wright State leads it by a run. Can you see tied up? We'll see after this. Top of the 9th inning. Lefty on the mound, still for Wright State, trying to get the final 3 outs. And here to tell you about those final 3 outs, potentially, it's Reed Mouse.
Thank you, Paul. Top of the 9th inning, 7-6 our score, and you mentioned it last inning. UC has scored in each frame since the 4th. But it's been the 4-run 7th inning that has put Wright State on top, and Joey Valentine's looking to get out and get 3 more outs, and he'll face the teeth of the Bearcats. Ryan Nicholson, Cole Harding, and J.P. Sponseller. First of 2 games here in the Joe Nuxhall Classic out in Oxford, Ohio. Valentine comes set. First pitch swinging. Nicholson pops one out into shallow left field. Giving chase is 4. Working along the left field foul line. Ran a long way, but gloves it for the first out. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 9th.
Yeah, that was interesting. It's one of those balls that gets up in the clouds, starts twisting around. You don't want to overrun it and how long you have to go to get over there. But now Wright State 2 outs away.
So in steps Cole Harding, singled his last 2 trips to the plate. We mentioned his walk-off hit against Wichita State, and their most recent game played, that 3rd game of the series on Sunday, was his 100th career RBI. He's added on that today. He's left the yard 5 times this season. Would love to make number 6 right here. Chopped out to the shortstop, Luke Arnold, who gets it on the second hop, throws it over to Jay Lukert for the second out. And the Bearcats are down to their final out.
Been a back-and-forth game today that, Reed, you and I have talked about. It has felt like, for the most part, Wright State has controlled. But Cincinnati has been right there offensively. They've scored every inning since the 4th. 2 in the 4th and 1 in every inning after.
Yeah, just unable to hang that big number on the scoreboard. That's been the difference maker. And it was defensive miscues in the bottom half of the 7th that led to Wright State plating 4 runs. 0-1 the count to J.P. Sponseller. 2 for 4. Single to right field. A second and third at bat. As he takes the 0-1 low and away. Xavier Miami scheduled for 6 p.m. here at McKee Field. The 1-1 from Valentine. Chopped out to the second baseman, Stoner. Runs in, flips it over to Luker. And the Raiders take the first game of this doubleheader, 7-6.
Yeah, it was a well-played game by Wright State. Cincinnati hung around offensively, but it was the 7th inning that was the difference. 4 runs in that inning for the Wright State Raiders. That's what flipped the script. 7 runs on 12 hits. No errors for Wright State. For Cincinnati, it was 6 runs on 6 hits with 3 errors.
Yeah, it was the quickest inning of the ball game for Wright State. They're right when they needed it. At top of the 9th inning, made quick work of the 3, 4, and 5 hitter of the Bearcats. And they'll move on to play the winner of Xavier and Miami, which you'll see at 6 p.m. You can watch that right here on Love and Honor Live. We're going to step away when we come back right at 6 p.m. You'll see the second game of this doubleheader. But for game 1, that does it from us out here in Oxford. I'm Reed Mouse, and for Paul Fritchner and Casey McAllister, we thank you for tuning in. This has been Love and Honor Live on Chatterbox Sports.